I was a firm believer in dreaming big and never giving up until the last minute. And I still am. Because before all of this, it was just me. A tiny room and a dream bigger than my reality. 21 days of grinding, failing, restarting, until the breakthrough finally came.
The D-Day.
And now, I stand beside the man who has been an inspiration to me and to millions around the world.
Everybody in this room did a tremendous job for the 100 million money model book. But after 2 days, the affiliate part was removed out of it. What was the strategy behind that?
I don't know if it was purposeful, but if it was, then this is why.
So why you don't choose to have kids?
I'll tell you something interesting. I would always encourage anyone to not ask someone why they don't have kids. You could take everything I say, you could literally copy word for word every video, every book that I have, and then just produce it in India. And yet none of them have nearly the same audience or influence. Why?
So for the proof part, like even I rank your chart.
Answer the original question.
There's lots of people who are showing off on social media. So what's your thing on that?
Well, how many Lamborghinis have you seen in any of my content?
Hi Alex, my name is NIPUN. SYAL. I'm AI marketing automation specialist and I'm from India.
Okay.
So my first question is, everybody in this room did a tremendous job for the 100 million money model book. And we feel excited when we see our names at the launch. But after 2 days, when we see the recorded version, the affiliate part was removed out of it. What was the strategy behind that?
Oh, probably because, I don't know if it was purposeful, but if it was, then this is why. Because then people will take that and then market it as though they're partners with me and things like that.
Okay. So my next question is, you're very serious in all
it's
your...
actually the branding thing that Tyler was just talking about. It's just like there's a bunch of associations. I love you all, but some of you I wouldn't associate with publicly. Yeah.
Right.
Tyler. Yeah.
And like I consume lots of your content. You are very serious in all videos. So you look very serious.
Okay.
So how is that latest? Like now over here we are just chilling out.
Yeah.
So what was the exact thing on the camera? You're very serious.
Oh, so I think the reason that a lot of the content that I have is serious is two things. One is it ends up being self-fulfilling, but I would say it started with this is gonna sound ridiculous, but super helpful for anyone who records content. The people behind the camera in my studio when I'm recording for a long time were like 20 to 30-year-old guys. And so whether you like it or not, if I had 5 girls behind the camera that were 45 plus, my content would be different than it is. And so the person behind the camera is who I end up talking to, not necessarily like the quote audience. And so I think one of the quote mistakes that I've probably made is that I've talked a lot to the people that were my team. I also want to, like, they're my team, so I want to help them out. And so I end up using examples that are more relevant to them because I see them like nodding, being like, oh, this is really, you know what I mean? Like they're taking notes while they're recording, but they do that all the time. And that's how I also get, reinforcing feedback of like, oh, this is a good idea. I'll talk more about this because I can see their reactions. I can see their eyes. And we tell them to do that because it also gives me a signal of like, oh, this is interesting. And so that's how my content actually just moves while I'm making it because I don't have a lot of my stuff super scripted. It's just more prompt driven. But I would have a different brand. If I could do it all over again, I would somehow find a way to have like, and the reason that I'm doing live streams now is so that I can diversify the audience and I can see the chat in real time. And so I have a much broader context of who I'm talking to, which is the real audience, not the people who are the audience in my room. And so that's why a lot of my earlier content was more like hardcore. And it was because I was yelling at my team to pull their heads out of their asses and break up with the girl who obviously doesn't want to help them. But I didn't say it to them, I said it to the camera so that hopefully they would listen to me as I'm talking to the camera. But that's why it was hardcore. But then what happened is then the podcast circuit would then say, oh, this is what Hormozi is about. And then they'll ask questions that are more like, what do you say to somebody who isn't trying hard? I'm like, oh no, try harder. Like, and so that created a self-fulfilling loop. And so also to the degree of like, why am I doing Logan Paul? And I'll probably do different podcasts in the future will be ones that are less centric to some of the more red pill masculinity. I'm not like in that world, but like I'm like on the edge. And I will probably do more on the other side because I think it's not an accurate reflection of who I am.
And after your content, I goes to Leela's, Hormozi to digest and all those stuffs.
Yeah.
So I worked with my wife, and you are like inspiration, like you work that. So can you, like, there is no such work-life balance. Whenever we are going to some vacations, also we are discussing about the work. Although lots of works are on autopilot mode these days, but still, like these things happen. So any advice you can give? Like I'm working with my partner.
Are you dissatisfied with how you work right now?
No.
Then don't change anything. Real. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of us judge how our relationship works based on arbitrary standards of people who don't know who we are or our relationship. And I think one of the key points that's helped me a lot is just understanding that it is our relationship. It's not yours, it's not anybody else's here, it's not her parents, it's not her sisters, it's mine and Layla's. And if we want to do our relationship our way, then that's our prerogative.
That's brilliant. And this one is a bit personal question I just want to ask, and you can skip that question also. Everybody's struggling like health, wealth, and relationship. So why you are doing fabulous in all three? So why you don't choose to have kids?
Kids? Well, I'll tell you something interesting, which is, so one, I would always encourage anyone to not ask someone why they don't have kids. No, and I'll explain why. Because I think it lacks empathy and self-awareness. And I'll explain again why. Because it creates a premise that I don't want to have kids. And so then I have to answer within that premise or I have to reject the premise. Now, let's say hypothetically, and this is not true, but I'm saying hypothetically because I want to empathize because there's a lot of people out there. So this is making not just for you, but for everyone. There are men who are infertile. There are women who are infertile. There are people who waited too long because they believed the lie that they were going to be ready when they're 41 and have a career, and that's when they're going to start having kids. There are people who don't think that they will be good parents. And so let's use the last one as an example. If you've ever met someone and been like, they shouldn't have kids. Right. If we take that to be true, if you were to go in an alternative universe and that person didn't have kids, and then you said, why don't you have kids? They're doing a service to the world. More so not because like, oh, their genes shouldn't be passed on, but they're just not going to ruin two people's lives, right? And so it's for that reason that I tend to shirk the question overall, not because I think that it's like inherently prying or anything like that, but I either have to take a potential position of like, let me tell you why kids suck, right? Which is a terrible position to be in because I'll ostracize everybody who has children, which I have no desire to do, right? Or I have to do the alternative, which is I would have to say either me or my spouse has a health issue and I don't want to include you in this conversation. But I have to answer the question, which I won't, but I'm saying we don't have children.
And my next question... And my next question is, I want to be top 10 marketer in the world.
Okay.
Tell me 3 things which I should not do.
I'll just tell you one thing.
Okay.
Which is that you need more proof.
I need more proof, right?
Yeah. So to be the best marketer in the world, like you could take everything that I say, you could literally copy word for word every video, every book that I have, and then just produce it in India, right? You could do that. Shoot, people do, right? And yet none of them have nearly the same audience or influence. Why? It's an open question.
Yeah, so over here, like I am among 30 people whose book got forwarded by Dan Kennedy. So for the proof part, like even I rank your charts and I got awarded by, yeah.
Answer the original question. So if you use all that stuff, or if someone used all that stuff, why is there no one in India or China who's just taken everything I have and translated it? Because tons of people have. Why are they not me?
Because I'm connected to you, not that stuff.
I'll say 2 reasons. One is they're not source. So it's very different to be somebody who's an acolyte of someone versus someone who thought of it. So that you can regurgitate SPCL, but you don't know how I came to that. You can regurgitate the branding thing, but you don't know how to apply it because you didn't think about it from first principles. When it breaks, you don't know why. So the application breaks. That's number 1. Number 2 is that no one has the proof. And when I say proof, I mean, where's the $50 million company you sold? Where's the $1 billion tech platform that you own? Where's the $1 billion advisory practice and private equity firm that you own? Like, that's what's missing. And so Like if you want to be in the B2B game, and I want to be very clear here, you can make money doing anything. It's just how much, right? And you can always convince people at a lower, at a low level. But as you try and go up the market, you will need to have more and more compelling proof. To be impressive to poor people, you just need a little bit of money. To be impressive to rich people, you have to demonstrate a lot more. And so the problem is that the rich people tend to be the ones who influence a lot of the poor people. And so you want to be an influencer's influencer. You want to be somebody that the people who other people look up to. You want to be your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, favorite comedian's favorite comedian. That's your favorite marketer's favorite marketer. And in order to be your favorite marketer's favorite marketer, you actually have to be really good. And in order for people to know you're really good, so how do I get Tyler to eventually come to my team? I have to prove it. Because if we just assume the audience at large, the market at large will start at 2 degrees left of center, they're going to start at skeptic, start at doubtful, and rightfully so, because they were 14 the first time they bought an MLM and were like, oh my God, I should never do this again. And then from that point going forward, they never believed anything ever, and they shouldn't. But eventually, if you prove enough things, they're like, you know what, this is actually a really good source of information. And so the reason that a brand will grow, like if you want to have a big marketing brand, why is it that Warren Buffett, like why do we listen to authorities? Do you know why? We listen to authority figures because it's the lowest effort way of consuming information. Because if you listen to an authority, you have to think, is this true? Is this not true? If Warren Buffett says this is how you invest, he's worth $100 billion. He's been doing it for multiple cycles, multiple world wars, and you're like, I believe him. And so you can pretty much just directly take what he says, put it into your brain, and then act on it. And fundamentally, this is the issue with humanity in terms of authority, because it's very persuasive, because we don't even think about it. We just take it as fact because it's lower effort. When you have fundamentally a teacher who makes $50,000 a year could repeat everything that Warren Buffett says about investing, maybe even make better content about investing, but no one would believe them, because if you're so good, why are you a teacher making $50,000 a year? If you're the best marketer in the world, then why aren't you the best marketer in the world? And so, like, if you want to be the best marketer in the world, then go market and prove that you're the best marketer in the world. Like, go sell some shit.
Right. And there is lots of, like, my question next to this is, like, there is lots of people who are showing off on social media. Yeah. They just rent the cars from Dubai and they are showing, like, from the influencing part. And now people are seeing more, like, when we are showing off something like yacht and private jet, and they're looking like scam. So what's your thing on that?
Well, how many Lamborghinis have you seen in any of my content?
No, I didn't see any.
Right. Right. And so, like, you will fool poor people when you impress, like, poor people are impressed by stuff, but you only look like you have game to people who have no money. And so that whole market, that scummy market, only competes for the poorest people. Like, none of the players who write $1 million checks, $5 million checks, like, none of those people believe any of that. Also, because when you're actually rich, a Lamborghini is a couple grand a month. Like, it's not, and that's if you're renting it, and if you're buying it, I don't even know what it, like, who cares, right? It's like if you can buy a Lamborghini every 2 hours, whatever, right? It stops mattering. And then they choose different things. So maybe it's jets, but at a certain point, it just stops. Like, it becomes about the quality of the content, which is why, like, just prove it. Like, instead of saying, like, I'm the best marketer, because what they're doing is using the brand of Lamborghini and the brand of Rolex as a way to associate with things that are expensive, so that people make that association and then generalize that to, they must be good at making money. That's the idea. A much stronger and better way to do it is, why don't I just help you make money? And then you will for sure believe me, and I can wear a tank top and look like white trash, and it'll still be fine. Because, like, I could have worn a suit from the beginning of this brand, and I was actually advised to wear a suit. They're like, you're a businessman, you got to look like a businessman, no one's going to take you seriously. And I was like, if I make them money, no one will give a shit. And the players will always know.
Right. So I have read, like you said, never low down your prices. But for the school, it was $99. Then you, in this launch, you make it for $9. Yeah. What was the strategy behind that?
So, good question. We didn't actually lower the price, and this was one of the big marketing mistakes that I made with my messaging. So I should have said, we have a $99 thing. We now have a new tier that's $9 a month, and it would have been 2 slides at a $1,700. And I said, it's not $99 anymore, it's $9. And that little issue confused a ton of people. And so tons of people were like, "Why? I want the $99 thing for $9." We're like, "No, the $9 option is what we just made for you. It's the hobby plan." And they're like, "No, but I want the $99 one." It's like, dude, you don't even have business. You don't even need the $99 one. Like, they're not like, what specific feature do you want? They don't even know what the feature is. Like, I just want the $99 one. It's like, dude, it's a 90-day trial. You can have the $99. It's still free for 90 days. It doesn't matter. Anyways, but it was I should have been clear about it. But no, we added a second tier, which is a $9 a month tier for people who are hobbyists.
Okay, thank you. And the next question is, like, I create lots of AI agents. Now these days, AI agent calls someone, and on the phone, again, AI agent is picking up a call. And those agents are conversing with each other. So, so how
You're saying that's happening now? Or
yeah, it's happening now. Like,
how often is that happening?
Yeah, I created an agent to do the outgoing calling, like it's clone my voice. And on the other end, sometimes like AI will pick up a call and say, I'm AI, this and that. And then I see like robots are chatting
Who are you
with
calling?
So I'm calling for like outreaching for the
Where?
people. So like for when I'm creating some...
India, US?
In US.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I see when
Why would you clone your voice?
I cloned my voice from 11 labs.
No, I know, but like, why would you clone your voice? Why wouldn't you clone, some 25-year-old, blonde girl's voice, or just like that's US based?
So that's what like I just want to show and demonstrate everything.
I guess you don't have a blonde girl voice, but you know what I'm saying.
So just I want.
It works better for the little image, though. I'll tell you that much. And who does outreach? Where you at? Like the little icon. It matters a lot. If you have like hot girl reach out, response rates way higher.
So we'll do the A/B testing for the same. And even I.
No, but I mean, but what's the question? Like, how do you avoid AI picking up AI?
So no, I'm just saying like how the human conversation will go, like how you see. Like even I use your AI bot, it's tremendous. Like it goes to the page particularly, and I think like the people who are not making million have read all your 3 books. So there is some problem in implementation.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's how like the AI bot is quite good. But now how the things will be going on in future? Like even I created my avatar, I cloned 20 videos daily. We are doing that as an experiment.
So it's a forever cat and mouse game.
Okay.
It's just going to be we're going to have better AI callers. They're going to have better AI receivers. We're going to have better AI. That's what it's going to be. I do also think there's going to be a huge pool so our business strategies for everyone in terms of our investment thesis of like what I see the next like 5 or 10 years doing in terms of where I'm putting my money. I see it as polar. So it's IRL or AI. I just don't see the in between. And so either the bet is the basis thesis of what things am I confident will not change over the next 10 years? And then what are the things that I'm absolutely confident will change? And these are going to be the outsized bets, and these are going to be the sure bets. And so I think that why is school something I'm still investing in? Well, it's because a platform where people can connect with other people in community, I think will exist. Even though it's digital, to me that's a community human driven thing. Like people will want community. That's not going to change. I have a ton of real estate. I think people will need a place to live. I don't think that's going to change. On this side, it's like, okay, well then we can also invest in what are the components of AI that I think aren't going to just get disrupted in the next 6 or 12 months, which is going to get reverse engineered to how can I have proprietary data that is valuable enough? Because it's one thing to have proprietary data. It's another to have proprietary data that can't be duplicated in another way. So if I have a superior data set that I can train something on that no one else can create, then that creates alpha, that creates arbitrage opportunities on this side. But those are kind of fundamentally my thesis in terms of how I'm approaching the future. What things I'm very confident are not going to change, and then I'm taking small bets here that I think have disproportionate upside. So if I'm looking at where my money's going, it's probably 80 here, 20 here, because the 20% that's here is almost like venture bets where if I get any of them, it'll outshine this.
Nice. And you have such a nice physique, and there is one hashtag that is quite popular, never skip dessert. Yeah. So these two things contradict each other. So what's your take on this?
Do they
really
eat each other?
Just like the calories intake and outtake, I don't want to go into these maths, you're pretty much good in that. So I just want to, you'd really eat that Swedish, when you're posting on Insta, or just it's for the hashtag?
Do I really eat dessert that much? Ed, do I really eat dessert that much? Never skip. Yeah. It's a way of life, man. It's not for everybody. It's a lifestyle choice. No, I mean, fundamentally, I don't eat a huge amount of carbs. I backload the food that I eat, and so I can save up my carbs and fat for the end of the day. And I prefer to eat them later in the day rather than, I don't have a high ROI on breakfast for me. I'm not I want to wake up and eat a ton of sugar and fat. That's not really. But like at night, I'm like, I could go for some sugar and fat, right? And so I prefer to do that then. But as long as my total calorie intake is what it's supposed to be, then I'll look the way I want to look.
So we can expect some book on this also
No,
in future.
never. I will never get into I will never go back to the fitness space. I won't say that. It's unlikely that I will write a piece of content that's for fitness.
We are going for dinner tonight. We'll check over there. Are you eating or not?
What was that?
So we are going dinner tonight. So we'll check that are you taking desserts or not with there.
There'll be dessert.
You will be eating or not. We'll check that.
I'll be eating. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
No,
Thank
you
you
bet.
very much.
All right. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you.